spaceship. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful Android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a Terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Had some people get discorded, just ignored it. Destiny is more important, so I just had to abort it. Yeah. Find me with my dogs in my solitude. Watch my family grow from 4 into a multitude. Been living it below sea level, finna rise to another altitude. Been searching, seeking knowledge, but all the time I had the aptitude. I flipped my mindset to the switch to say I will not lose. Mama said them sticks and stones won't break my bones, I never bruise. Whenever it come to trouble, many girls pull a tongue, we always cruise. I heard other dog owners get it out for me, but it ain't no news. I got 4 in the dough in Memphis so they can get the blues. If you need a few clues that blow off your under rules, send your compliment to the new girls I got coming through. Send your compliments to the new girls I got coming through. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. My mind keep visualizing future times, beautiful Android girls surrounding me. Filling my cup, full of joy, keep my life full of glee. Plenty ups, never down, the way that life's supposed to be. But unfortunately, if she a Terminator, then I'ma have to terminate it. Gotta get rid of negative vibes, gotta go through negative foes, gotta block out negative voices, gotta get rid of negative souls. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Out of space, out of world, out of galaxy with a different girl. Silicone, a TPE, it really don't matter which one it be. Oh, yeah. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, J. King Hefner and the beautiful Cali Sun. And we're back again for another episode of the Dog King Power Hour. And the title of today's episode is M3GAN Hangover. M3GAN Hangover. And first thing I want to say is welcome everybody that's watching live. Welcome everybody that's watching this show later on. Just want to send God's blessings over your life, whatever you're wishing for, hoping for, believing for, health, new relationships, new finances, whatever it is. We're praying you already have it. We just ask you believe it, then you will receive it. Man, we're energized. We're powered up. From the itinerary, looks like it's going to be a nice little quick power hour to get you guys energized for your Wednesday. Just going to do a nice little rundown on all the comments on my videos on the past week, give my thoughts on everything. But the title of today's show, M3GAN Hangover, I just recently did a movie review on M3GAN, the movie M3GAN. And boy, you talking about a movie that I did not want to see. I just said, when I first started seeing the previews for it, I saw some people were getting hyped about it, from what I was just hearing, on social media, blah, blah, blah. But I was looking at this like, oh my God, this looks horrible. This looks like some type of Chucky wannabe bull crap. And I was like, man, how are they going to find a way to sort of disgrace the AI robotic world or whatever, this time? It just didn't seem like it was going to be good. I knew I was going to have to see it, but I was not really hyped up to see it. I heard some people saying they liked the movie and blah, blah, blah. Whoop-de-damn well do. I wasn't concerned with it, with them saying it, because so many people have said movies are good and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I've heard so many people call horrible movies good. It don't make any sense. So I was hesitant to watch it. And recently, when I actually started looking at it, I actually turned it off because I was like, man, this is looking like it's gonna be terrible. Now the movie had just really started. So it's nothing bad had happened. I just wasn't feeling it that night. I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, nah, I ain't really with this, man. I started looking at some anime or something. But I couldn't get it out of my mind. I said, I got to go ahead and watch this while it's good and fresh. You know, let's check it out. And man, just like I said in the movie review, I have to admit, I was actually pleasantly surprised with the entertainment value of the movie. I gave it like a 7.5 rating. And for me, that's like a C plus, you know, close to B. But I said some people could take it to 8, you know, and some people go overboard and go way over 8 and all that. But I think it's a good 7.5, meaning it's a good watch. I don't think you would have wasted your money going to the movies to see it or anything like that. You know, it was pretty good, man. It's pretty good. And M3GAN herself, whoever did the voice acting for her did a wonderful job. They had her, you know, sounding very realistic as far as just, you know, they acted that part really good. The animation on her was really good. You know, she was lifelike. And, you know, I sort of already told the review. So if you saw the review, hopefully you already saw the movie because it's a couple of spoilers in the review. It really doesn't tell the whole story, but it is. I'd rather you see the movie before you saw that review. But I just say this: they did a great job depicting AI, because of course it wasn't real AI, but they did a great job depicting how good AI can be. You know, as far as the responses and communication. M3GAN was really a caring character. I just say that. She just wasn't some killer Chucky type character. So great character development. I really hate to see what they're going to do as far as they're going to probably make 20 movies about M3GAN now. But I think it's probably cool if they was to make maybe 2 more movies. Maybe just, you know, and be done with it. Just make it a trilogy. But I know they're going to go too far. But it was a really good concept. They, you know, it wasn't the worst spin I've seen on something like that. I just say that. And I'm gonna get to my comments because Ataya Barkley, I saw she was in the house and she won today. Thank God. One of my Dog King Army team members pulled the victory out, but I'm just glad that she, you know, showed up, got the victory. You know, it's always good to see new people getting victories. You know, I love when my boy Miktai wins because he just shows dedication amongst, you know, like no other as far as getting here on the power hours early. But it is always good to see a fresh face win. And what I mean by that, people who don't know, on every power hour, which is every Wednesday right now, whoever gets in here first, I write their name down in the book one day. I'm going to do a giveaway, and everybody who wins is going to get, you know, extra entries into that contest. So Ataya and Princess Mika rather won today. But yeah, man, I just thought I'd name the show M3GAN Hangover because it was a really good show, man. They did a lot of good things in it. One thing, and I'm gonna get to my comments now, but one thing that I just said was ridiculous though, and I said this in the movie review, was it was a point. Oh, this is a spoiler though. It's a small spoiler, but cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. But it's a small point in the movie where the little girl in the movie has to be, you know, not she doesn't have to, but she ends up with M3GAN at a school event. I just say that. And it's just so ridiculous because they have M3GAN sitting down at this toy table, is what they call it. That's just the one of the most ridiculous parts of the movie that just had me dying laughing. As far as like, not, it wasn't really funny, it was just ridiculous. Because they had the little girl, they said, "Oh, you could take M3GAN to school, but you got to leave her at the toy table." So I was like, "What?" It was just so ridiculous. They had a full android sitting amongst stuffed animals. You know, other kids brought their stuffed animals in. Hey, I'm gonna sit my full-size android next to y'all stuffed animals. I was just like, man, that was just completely ridiculous. But for the most part, it was a fun story, man. But I do like I said in my review, I do like how it sort of depicted basically what I was saying about, yeah, man, even if they were to achieve a M3GAN, a, a lot of people would be getting hyped. Ooh, yeah, I'd have that in my house. No, you wouldn't have a M3GAN in your house for a while, even if they were to achieve making her. Because like I say, it's so many dangers and safety protocols. And I'm glad that they sort of showed in the movie about how the smallest nuanced command, and I talk about it later concerning the comment, but the smallest wrong command, a forgotten command could be catastrophic. And it's so many human situations, that this robot will find itself in. And if you didn't put that nuanced command in there, hey, that's all it takes. It's confused now. And it can do some type of, or it can make its own decisions on what to do. So with all that said, I ain't gonna go too much deep in the movie other than say, hey, it was good. It was good. I'm not throwing a party. I'm not trying to give it a A+, B+, but it was more than watchable. It was entertaining. And I have to give M3GAN credit. I really did like pretty much everything about that character and the way they did it. So if you haven't seen it, like I said, I won't say too much more to try to ruin it for you, but check it out. Then go look at the review that I did on it and see how you feel. But let me check in. Taya and Princess Mika. Woo, let's go. Congratulations on winning, Natalia. Glad to see you, Dog King Army team member in the house. Much love to you. Bearded McTown in the house said, hello, Jay. What up, Bearded? He said, Jay, what's your opinion on going off grid with dolls? Oh, do whatever you want to do. I mean, if you want to go off grid, going off grid, hey, no problem. Do exactly that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the whole idea of going off grid, but it is a few things that would probably keep me from just jumping into that lifestyle only because I still do want to be connected to what I'm doing now, doing my YouTube and not only that, I do like TV. So that means, you can't go off grid if you still got a damn bill where people can trace you. I consider off grid like literally, living somewhere in nature somewhere where you don't got the internet and, you pretty much self-sufficient. I was looking at this biking, one of my biking channels that I was looking at the other day, and they came across this guy that was living literally in the middle of the desert. It wasn't just him, though. It was almost like, I hate to say it, it was almost like a cult, pretty much. But he said where they were living at, the government, they didn't have to pay land tax or anything because it was all type of bombs. It was an ex-military base or something that was close by. But either way, he said they had been burying bombs out in that part of the desert. So it couldn't be developed by normal contractors and, realty companies and stuff like that. So he said him and a band of other people have been living out there, and hey, people don't mess with them. And that's what I consider living off grid, because they don't have, TVs and things of that nature that's actually connected to the communication network, the communication grid that we're all on. So if you were to find a way to like completely live off grid, nobody knows where you are and things of that nature, and you got a dog, hey, no problem with that. Long as you can sustain yourself. And keep the dog cool or warm. Cold isn't the worst issue unless you get the dog in freezing temperatures, but you do have to worry about the dog getting too hot. Even with a silicone dog, you don't want them to just be burning up in the house somewhere. So you need some type of way to keep the house cool if you're living off grid. That's the only challenge I can think of. But if you got a generator and all of that stuff, you have power. The expert says, yo, Jay, what up, expert? Ataya says, the movie looks really interesting, to be honest. I like how they designed M3GAN. Man, I tell you, to be honest, like I say, I tell you, I had the opposite feeling. I was like, I don't want no part of this movie. But they even turned a detractor like me into a bit of a fan of that actual first movie. I don't know what they're gonna do next or if they're gonna go too far. But they did good. I can't lie, it was entertaining. I enjoyed myself. And I even said this in a review that I did. I literally, it was certain points in the movie, like I didn't want to laugh. I was basically maybe trying not to laugh or something, and it made me laugh anyway. And I was like, nah, this gotta be this good when it's making me laugh when I don't want to. So it has its good, very some very good moments. I say that. Oh, you see her. She said your cat is super adorable. I didn't know that you was gonna notice her over there. I said, look at that's my cat, Yoda. You can barely see her because she sort of laid out into the she got her face planted into the pillow. But it's funny. It's a rare time that my cats actually make an appearance in the picture. In some of my earlier videos, they was always sort of just jumping into the picture and stuff like that. And I don't get mad at them for coming around. I'm not one of those owners that be like telling them to stay away. I've even told my mother this. I said, and she always sort of gives me a voice like she might not believe it, but I always tell her my cats are super duper smart now. It's just crazy. They just regular cats from the outside, but they are super smart. It's like when they see the lights and stuff go up, they just be like, you know what? I don't even want to go in there. He working. So they really, if they're in here, they're out of camera sight. Or sometimes I get through working and I just see them sitting in the next room. I'd be like, man, I guess they saying, hey, forget it. We gonna let you work right now. So it's a rare time that they actually sort of hang around very close like that while I'm working there. So I thought it was cool that I said, look at Yoda, she gonna be in the picture tonight, but you still can barely see her. Oh, Ataya says, I plan to eventually go off grid with my dog, but you need to make sure you can keep up with. That's the whole thing. That's what I was saying. Going off grid sounds good, but you need to have everything, in place to go off grid. And like I say, the thing about going off grid, I'm not gonna lie, I've lived in pretty much off grid to a certain degree before because I lived in my vehicle and things of that nature for a long time when I was living in California. But the thing about it is, if you really think about it, going completely off grid really means even without a phone. Now I know ain't nobody gonna do that, but I'm saying that's when you're completely off grid. Because the truth is, if you have a cell phone, you're on grid because they can locate you. And a lot of people think that off grid just means you're living remotely. But the real meaning of off grid is where the government can't locate you. Where the government can't just say, hey, we know where he is. Because if you got a cell phone, your people may not be able to find you. You may be able to hide from normal society. But when the government wants to find you, you are found immediately. Because, I've never been a fan of just computer chips, but literally phones are pretty much a tracking device now. I've always sort of known it, but I truly realized it when they started sending these Amber Alerts out, and everybody's phone gets the same alert at the same time. When that first started happening, I was really disturbed by that. I was like, wait a minute, man. I don't like the fact that, a lot of people think that's cool because, oh yeah, we can find a child. I was like, no, 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 bro. I don't like just them having access to my phone like that to where they just can send all of us alerts like that at the same time. Now they'll tell you, hey, it's no different than you seeing an alert on the news. No, a news, I can turn the TV on and off. I don't have to see that. But a phone is more personal. And if you ever notice, whenever it comes down to any of these murders or anything like that, the first thing they start tracking is a phone. So yeah, they can find any of us at the drop of a dime just based off phones. So you'd have to get rid of your phone, no TV, no nothing. You had to just literally be living in the wilderness somewhere to be to be completely off grid. And then, like I said, you'd have to worry about getting power and air conditioning and stuff like that, or some type of cooling measure to keep your dial from getting too hot. Even with a silicone dial, you still don't want it to be burning up in the summer months. So it's a lot to think about if you're living, uh, let's just say in a vehicle or just somewhere in a remote cabin somewhere with a companion dog. I actually had a guy that bought a dog and he was living in one of these remote areas. And he had bought one without telling me about where he was living at. And we got there, he was like, man, I can't get my dog from leaking. And I was like, man, I said, man, that's sort of funny. My dog don't ever leak. I said, what's going on in your house? He said, oh man, it's humid here. I said, oh, you ain't got air conditioning? He said, oh no, I don't got air conditioning. I said, oh man. I said, if you had told me that, I would have advised you on, you may need to even just not, I ain't gonna say not get a dog, but you definitely need to consider consider it because even with a silicone dog, you don't want to be in a situation where you don't have any temperature control. Me myself, man, I wasn't panicking or anything, but I knew I had to, because when I lost central air in my home, I got a couple of window units. They still don't do the job of a central air, but they do keep the house cool. They keep it cool enough for my dogs to be okay in the hotter months. I probably need even one more air conditioning unit to compensate for the central air that I used to have. But yeah, you definitely have to worry about certain different things if you're talking about going off grid completely. Oh, he said, can you tell me that YouTube video that you saw off grid? Oh, what was that? That was on my guy Ryan Van Duzer's channel. I look at this guy named Ryan Van Duzer, and he is I'm gonna try to find it. I could probably play it a little bit for you. Cause this is gonna be a shorter power hour. It ain't gonna be, I mean, I got a few comments to go through, but it ain't too bad. I forgot though. I ain't gonna play sometimes he may have music going, so I ain't gonna play the music if I find the video. Which I think I should be able to find. Let me see. I'm looking for it now. What was that? I don't know. It was something recently that he did, I think. Let me see. And I don't mean to get sidetracked on this, but that is something that I think it's a recent video. Maybe it's a recent video he did. Yeah, I think that was recent. Let me see. It's recent videos. Oh, they up there. Here you go, right here. Here you go, right here. Yeah, I'm about to say I just saw it. Yeah, I just saw it. I just saw it. I knew it was recent. Okay. I can show it to you. Let me move the beautiful Princess Mika and her comment. So yeah, this is, and I'm gonna get to my questions and things of that nature from my videos after this. I'm just gonna show him this guy that just really living off grid. So my guy Ryan Van Duzer, he's a biker, right? And he just found himself he was doing this thing called the SoCal Ramble, and he just found himself in the middle of the desert. And he wanted to go to this place. It's called Slab City. And it's a place that got all this desert art and things of that nature. That's Van Duzer right there. And so right now he just walking around looking at all the desert art at this place. And it's actually people that live here, but you don't see them right now. You know, they're living remotely in the desert. Now he finally met the guy that's over the place. I'm trying to show him. You're gonna see him in a sec. Okay. So they just living out in the middle of nowhere. Literally. You see? Now this is off grid. This is just in the middle of the desert. There go the guy though, uh, that runs the place. And so he's telling you about. I'm gonna see. I don't think this got music, so I think I could probably play this. Let me see. I think I could probably play this.
It's a botanical gardens. I've got 7 different types of spinaches, 5 different types of kales. I've got bamboo from all over the world, from Burma, from Thailand, from Vietnam. I grow almost all of my vegetables that I eat right here. And last summer I put in a swimming pool. I've got a solar oven. That the solar oven is big enough to cook 12 large pizzas at the same time, and we have amazing dinners here.
That's amazing. And so you said this is a church.
It's a church of enlightenment, and basically it's a place to come to raise consciousness, because if we don't raise the planetary...
Okay. Now I don't want to go into all of that, but because that's why I say to me it was coming off like it could be a potential cut out there. Who knows? But what I wanted to show you was he was just sort of talking about how he do his own vegetables, solar power. They're not on the real grid. You know what I'm saying? And if you were to watch this episode, like I say, it's Ryan Van Duzer. You can go and it's one of his more recent videos. It's called the SoCal Ramble. And it's episode 5. And like I say, when he came across this guy, I know I've talked about going off grid with my brother a million times. And he's, been close to doing it a lot of times. But this is a real life guy, and he's literally off grid right now. I think that's the place. Hold on, I was trying to get a bigger view of it. But yeah, that's the whole little place.
In the country after World War II. And when they closed this base, General Patton had been out here teaching artillery. And so when they closed the base, they had these artillery shells. And the commanding general asked the Defense Department, what do we do with these unexploded shells? And they says, dig a 20-foot hole and bury it.
Huh.
And don't tell anybody where it is. So we may be standing on it right now. So that is one of the reasons, among others, why this area has not ever been developed.
Okay.
So there's no rent, no mortgage, no property taxes, and no building restrictions here.
Okay.
As you can see from the Tower of Enlightenment over here.
Okay, now he actually, I'm done with showing this. That's enough of that. But he, because this whole show isn't going to be about that. But since he asked a question, and I just thought I'd show you, hey, that's real living off grid. Like he said, solar power. They ain't paying no rent or anything like that. No property tax. All of that. They found them a nice little spot out there. They ain't hooked to the internet as far as I know. They just living without all of that. And if somebody is, then they're not truly off grid. But that was a good example of living off grid. And that's what I say. True off grid living requires a lot of resources, to be close to you. You need to have, I can say close to you. You can live somewhere and travel to the city for water or supplies or whatever. But if you're talking about having a dog, you need some sort of solar power supply, something like that. So
That was true off grid, in my opinion. And like I think somebody finna bring up hunting and stuff, and hey, hunting and stuff for your own food. Now that's a whole nother level. Because I don't think they even doing that out there. I think they still have to travel somewhere to go get their food. Oh, Beard Mixai says, have I seen the movie Castaway? I have not seen Castaway, man, because I think when I started trying to look at it, I couldn't get through it. I'm gonna be honest with you. He said you also need a gun to go off grid. Safety is a must. Um, I can see where, yeah, in certain situations, depending on where you are, you probably do need a gun. I'm not a proponent of having guns. I'm not against. I'm not one of these people that say every gun needs to be removed from America, and I'm not one of those people. But I'm not a big fan of guns personally. But I have even said in recent history, I was like, man, hey, having a gun is not the worst idea in the world. And if you're living out there all by yourself somewhere, it's not a bad idea to have some form of protection against anything that could happen. It could what if it could be a gang of guys that run across your place and try to do some harm to you. You won't have any protection against you. Or it could be a wild animal that just tries to overpower you. So yeah, having a gun is not a bad idea in that particular situation, for sure. Atalia says, hunting and fishing skills are handy to have. Personally, I've been slowly figuring out how to become more remote rather than off grid. But solar power does wonders for you out in the wild. See, okay, she sort of clarified I'd rather be more remote than off grid. Because I think she probably like me, hey, she still wants some amenities. She still want her phone. She may still want access to the internet or things of that nature and TV and stuff. So you could be remote other than off grid. And you know what? That's still a big step, getting remote. I really am a big fan of wanting solar power. It's a big plan for what I want to do in the future with me and the girls in our home. The only thing that concerns me is I've been seeing a lot of people complain about the solar power actually not working, especially since the thing that happened a couple of years ago. They were just saying how some of these solar power companies can't get the components and stuff that they need to run their these solar power plants effectively or whatever. Because I was seeing a lot of people saying, man, I paid all this money to put my solar power panels in, and it's not saving me any money, and I'm still paying for it. And the people were just sort of explaining how, and I don't really fully understand it, but they were just explaining how all these people have bought their solar power panels and they're not really, they don't have the infrastructure in place to really save them money. And so for me, I'm hoping all that gets solved by the time the new Dog King the Dog King mansion gets finished. And I say mansion, I'm not trying to say it's going to actually be a mansion. I don't know what it's going to look like, but whenever me and the girls get into a new home, I do want solar power to be implemented, and I'm hoping it works efficiently by that time. McTy says, thank Jay, I just subbed him. Yeah, Ryan Van Duzen here, good watch. Hey, sub to my bike channel while you edit. Here it is right here. And I'm just really sort of joking. Hey, I would love people to check it out, but if you want to check out some biking, because it's really just mainly about me on a biking journey, similar to my dog journey. I'm starting out with just the regular bike that I have, the limited supplies that I have. It really reminds me of my dog journey. I'm trying to build up to a more professional level in bike touring and things of that nature. But it's just the beginning of my journey. So yeah, you can check me out as well. But yeah, definitely. If you like biking, you'll love Ryan, man. He has a great biking channel. I actually like him a lot. So with all that said, Let me get back to the comments. The expert says Memphis can be dangerous. Let me give you a bit of a hint here. You can take can out of you can take can and replace that with is. Ain't no can be dangerous. Memphis, I mean, living here, man, you just roll with the punches. I mean, seriously, like, it's crazy how it's just a given in the back of your mind that, yes, this is a dangerous city, but it's just your city, you know, so you don't really think about it on a day-to-day basis. You just know how to be careful, you know, you just know how to be careful. But I'm acutely aware that other cities are less dangerous when I get in those cities. If you even looking at a few of my biking videos, I was just laughing because I was like, man, it seemed like everywhere I ride my bike, I don't notice it while I'm riding, but when I look back at my videos, it's trash everywhere on the ground. We have, I mean, you know, as far as just people just polluting and throwing stuff on the ground, it runs rampant here. And I never think about it until I upload one of those videos. And I'd be like, dang, man, when I see these other biking channels, I don't ever see all of this level of uh of littering. You know, I don't ever see this level of littering on other people's videos. I said, man, Memphis is terrible. Not only do we got violence, we got major littering going on here. He says, Bearded Mixtie says, hell nah, bro. I'm not into gun politics. I'm not even American, but gun is a must case of safety. Well, you know what? In a lot of countries, you can't even have a gun. I know that. So to say you're not American, I don't know where I don't even think you live in America, but I know if you do have a gun, you're lucky to have one because in a lot of countries, man, I think guns are actually banned. But you know, I do see the good in guns, even though a lot of people use them in a bad way. They are good for, you know, it has been guns that have saved whole families, you know, because a person had one, you know, to pull out at the last second. So I don't ever want to see people using them as a first line of defense. But like you say, is that measure to keep you and your family protected? Yeah, you know, hey, I do think they can be effective in that manner. Money Mike says there are crazy people out there. Oh, most definitely, there are definitely crazy people out there. Money. The expert says a firearm is a tool. I don't know what he mean by that. The expert says I would love to go solar. Man, that's one of the big dreams I have. Me and the girls, I was just like, man, if we could add solar power to our life, I mean, man, you talking about, for one, man, not just to save, you know, I want to save money for one, but for two, it's just more environmentally friendly, man. It's more to that Tesla way of lifestyle. And I'm not talking about, you know, Elon Musk Tesla. I'm talking about the real Tesla, Nikola Tesla, you know. He had ideas that were way better than solar power, but solar power was still something that's closer to, you know, basically working in line with the earth to produce power, as opposed to just, you know, emitting these greenhouse gases everywhere. Bearded Mixtie says he heard a lot of stories about many cults who are in isolated areas who are into some weird things, so a gun is necessary. This is just my opinion. I don't know. I don't think you would need a gun to ward off cults, because I don't really think cults are out there hunting people down, trying to do harm to them. Now, once you get into a cult, you know, it can be some dangerous philosophical things that are going on. But for the most part, I haven't really heard of cults going out just trying to do harm to people. So I don't think you would be guarding against cults necessarily. I think you would be guarding against the random bad person that might come across your living quarters, or a wild gigantic bear or something, you know, and I hate that you would have to do any harm to animals, but yeah, you'd have to watch out for that. Bearded Mixtie says your biking channel name. There it is, right? Biking is basically biking with J Dog King Hefner. That's the name of my channel. Biking with J Dog King Hefner. And I don't even have it on there. Oh, I got Biking with Dog King right there. But the channel name is Biking with J Dog King Hefner. The expert says, I love Memphis. As dysfunctional as Memphis is, I actually love it too. Expert says, hit the like and be sure to subscribe, y'all. Hey, I didn't even say that. Thank you, Expert. But he's right. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, do all those amazing things. I would really appreciate it. The girls would really appreciate that. Expert says, I love you, J-Dog. I talk about how great you are over on my channel all the time. Stay safe. Thank you, Expert. Love you too, and I appreciate you, brother. Bearded Mixer says, I sub to your biking channel. Thank you, my friend. So, hey, without keeping you guys too much longer, we're going to jump into these video comments. We got a few of them, not many. I got about, 5 of them? 5 videos to go over. Some pretty cool little comments. We got started a little late today, but hey. A little late, but still on time, baby. Getting y'all ready for this great wins that y'all finna have. Okay, so we're going to go over my comments. It ain't a whole bunch. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. So we're going to start off with my video. It was last Dog King Power Hour. It was called the Sino Doll Wrap Up because I did a whole show about Sino Doll, the company, the brand, and I was sort of like it was sort of similar to today's show where on the Dog King Power Hour I talked about it a little bit more. My guy King of Jong says, "What time do you usually do these live streams?" And I told him power hours are on Wednesday in the early morning, like it is right now. But sometimes I will do a live stream on a Saturday. Sometimes I will do a live stream on a Monday. But my strict live stream day is on Wednesdays, early morning right now. But that time could change. Then King John says, I love what you do. He said, I never had a girlfriend. Looking forward to the doll lifestyle. I'm getting a Zelex doll with ROS Tech. Wait a minute. What do you mean by ROS Tech? I don't know whether he meant robot or whatever. But either way. I said, that's a great choice, my friend. I guess he's talking about the robotics that I was talking about the other day. But I said, that's a great choice, my friend. And thank you for the support. Check out my vendors when you decide to get your dog. And by the way, if you are looking for a companion dog, I have vendors in the descriptions of my videos or in the about section of my YouTube channel. We never want to rush people to get a companion dog. But if you ever do, we really appreciate it if you go through us and our vendors. They're all legitimate. They're all good. And just going through us helps keep the show going. So definitely check out any of my vendors if you're talking about getting a dog. And make sure if you want to support the show, when you decide to buy, when you click on the link, stay in the link to complete your purchase when you do decide to do that. Because I've had some people like, yeah, man, I supported you. I went through your links. And I'm like, no, I didn't get any notifications. And then when I went to check, I didn't see any of that confirmed. So I might have had some people that really thought they were supporting the show that might have clicked out of the link and didn't know it. And, I sort of feel bad for them because, I feel bad for us because, they didn't help the show. But I feel bad for them also because they might have thought they were legitimately supporting the show and it didn't go through. So if you do use a link, make sure you stay in that link until the transaction is complete. But he was saying how he had never had a girlfriend and all that stuff. But yeah, I told him to check out my vendors when you decide to get your girl. Now, I hope he still haven't made love to a human woman because I always say, man, girlfriend or not, man, you need a love-making experience with a human woman, man, to really, but before you just commit to this dog lifestyle, completely 100%. And here's the deal. Even if you don't make love to a girl before you get your dog, like I've said before, your dog can build your confidence up to where, hey, you can go out and talk to a human woman and rejection won't hit you as hard because you got your dog at home, and you might end up getting some human vagina after you buy your dog, to be honest with you. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Brandon Anderson says, I agree with dogs bringing you immense joy. Regardless, I wouldn't risk an eBay or AliExpress dog unless I had real money to burn and wanted to be risky. But all of my dogs bring me joy despite having 1 fabric and 4 TPE. He says, I want to get at least 1 silicone girl and my own creation dog, but the rest are unplanned besides those 2. He said, I want to have around 8 dogs. Great comments from Brandon. I told him this. I said, I didn't tell him everything I wanted to say. But he says, I wouldn't risk an eBay or AliExpress dog unless I had real money to burn. Even if you got money to burn, it's no even sense in spending your money on a eBay or AliExpress dog. I know some people have it. God bless you if you do. If you're happy, God bless you. I've said, even a badly made dog, even a dog that can kill you, will bring joy to your life only because, the dollar in of itself, the joy that it's providing, it can do that at a low quality or high quality. The presence, the companionship that the dog provides, that's where you're getting all of your true joy from. So I only tell you don't get an eBay or AliExpress dog like that because guess what? It's low quality, black market. It can get you sick. You don't want anything like, a product like that. But yeah, it can still make you happy. So what I'm trying to say is, if you got money to burn, go ahead and burn that money on a great dog. On a good brand. Go through, some people like my vendors. You want to get a quality product. So even if you got money to burn, I wouldn't say buy a dog off eBay at this point in time. He said all of his dogs bring him joy. Glad to hear that. And then he says he has 1 fabric and 4 TPE. And I'm like, I want a Teddy Babe. And if you don't know Teddy Babe, that's a fabric dog as well. I want a Teddy Babe. So I told him, I said, man, you got a great lineup. Because he said something to the extent of, my dogs bring me joy despite having 1 fabric dog. And I'm like, hey, don't think that that's bad that you got a fabric dog. I actually think it's funny. I said, I want a fabric dog. I want a Teddy Babe in the lineup because I said, even though the TPE girls actually sort of fulfill this role to a certain degree, where they're my girls that I love to sleep with and hug up on because they're so soft. A lot of times, even though Mara Blade is in here, I don't have her on camera though. But I love to probably sleep on my TPE girls a little bit more because they're soft. But you still got to be careful. You don't want to ruin their hands or fingers in your sleep because you're sleeping wild. But the beauty of a fabric doll is you don't have to worry about that. And that's what I said, man, I want a fabric doll just so I can have it as my don't give a damn doll where I can lay on her. I ain't got to worry about breaking her fingers, or I ain't got to worry about her staining. I don't got to worry about her getting indentions. And, I don't got to worry about my silicone girl staining or getting indentions, but I still got to worry about her fingers getting broke or her dropping or anything like that. Where with a fabric doll, you don't have any worries. And that's why I really want a Teddy Babe. I do want one. But, I get one at the right time. I just say that. I leave it at that. So I didn't want him down himself because he got a fabric dog. It's cool to have a fabric dog. He said he want to get at least 1 silicone girl. And he says a girl, I guess he says my own creation dog. And when he said that, I guess he has his other dogs that he has now. I guess they are probably ready to ship dogs, meaning he didn't customize them. So he's saying he at least want 1 dog that he can customize. I think that's what he's saying. Oop. And he answered back. I just saw this today too, though. He was like, man, Teddy Babes are a cute dog. He says they are phenomenal with posing. He says, I have an early model of the Valentina Girls fabric brand, and I hadn't heard of them. So I definitely want to check them out. He said they've added some new functions and options over the past 3 years since I got my first doll in 2019. So yeah, I need to write that down because I want to check out Valentina fabric dolls just to see what they look like. I'm gonna check that out. And that's what I told him. I said, I'm gonna have to check out Valentina. Fabric dolls are cool. We'll put this right here. So that was that on for Brandon. My guy Ye says, maybe I didn't look close. He was talking about the thumbnail. He said, maybe I didn't look close enough, but the girl in the thumbnail looks human. If that's a doll, that's crazy. He was talking about my Sino doll thumbnail. And I told him, I said, Sino doll is they are damn good at detail. You know what I'm saying? They damn good at detail. I give them that. They damn good at detail. And that girl does look real. And it's several girls in their collection that really have a realistic look. I know I said that crazily, but I was just trying to emphasize they do a very good job on realism. I did mention in the review of Sino Doll that, hey, other companies have caught up in their realistic body painting department, but they still are, one of the best companies out there as far as that's concerned. Let's see what else happened here. Okay. Later on, my guy Gumbino says, I haven't gotten to the relationship point with the doll. He says the doll has 1/6 to 8, a cane doll, for example. He said the advertisement makes you want to smash them right out of the box. And I just recently did a video about how I know I've got some doll owners that have made love to their girl as soon as they got them. And I don't down any of them for that. Everybody follows their own path in this dog game. There's no right or wrong. But even in a human relationship, that's what I was talking about in that video. And even in a human relationship, man, you date a girl, and I ain't just talking about dating. Let's just say you just try to talk to a girl. I hate to say it, but if you do get it too quick, your interest is going to wane. Even if it's good, you might get it 3, 4, 5 times. But when you meet another girl, right? Nobody likes to wait. Don't nobody like when a girl tell them, nah, you can't get it right now. You can't get it right now. You can't get it. Don't nobody love that crap. But I tell you, even if it's just a couple of weeks, even if it's a few weeks, even if it's a month, if she makes you just wait a little while for it, it's always that much better. Because you know why? In that month or 2 months that you were getting to know her, you've gotten, what I'm saying? You've gotten to know her a little better. You've gotten a little closer to the girl. You know a little bit about her personally. So when you do end up making love, it's a more personal connection. And it actually does make the intimate process of making love a whole bunch better because you have that personal connection. It's good to have that raw sexual experience, but you can have that with the person that you're close to. But if you just have sex off the bat, I'm telling you, it's just that human response of, okay, I see how that is now, so I'm not really thinking about it as much. And that's how it can be with your dog. And that's what I wanted to avoid. I thought about all of that ahead of time. And that's why I was like, no, I already know what can happen, man. You can make love to your dog, and as soon as you come to a climax, you can put it to the side and be like, okay, I used it. I used it for that purpose, so I'm cool, And you may not pull it out until you want to do something like that again. And I'll be like, nah, I don't want to do that with my dog. I want to build up a connection. So if I do make love to her, it's going to be a stronger connection anyway. I've had many dog owners like, yeah, you were on the right note. They was like, man, I had sex with my girl and The relationship part, the companion part didn't come to much later once I stopped, doing the sexual stuff. They was like, when I just sort of started having my dog hang around me and I wasn't having sex, that's when I got closer to my dog. And that's really what I did on the front end. But you have some people that end up having sex with their dog and they may not ever pull it out the closet. You know what I'm saying? And they never developed that bond. And so they'll really be using that dog as a straight up toy. They won't ever really feel those deeper connections. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say those people, God bless them for how they want to use their companion, their dog. But they are definitely not getting as much out of it as they could. And so when he was like, it makes you want to smash the dog right in the box, he hadn't got to a relationship point with the dog yet. And the reason he hasn't got to the relationship point with the dog is, and I'm just making this assumption, it's probably because he's had too much sex with his girls right off the bat. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't given himself a chance to develop that relationship aspect with the dog. And it's simply by doing what I'm doing with Callie, just having them around you on a day-to-day basis, not hidden away. I told him this. I said, just drop the video about smashing too soon. I said, that will stunt your growth with your girls. Not all the time, but it's a good recipe to stunt your growth. I said, they aren't just for love making, my friend. They are a lot more if you invest some time in them. I said, just letting them hang out with you and be your companions will allow you to make a stronger connection. Like I told you, I know many of people who've done that on the back end. They made love first and then I've even made a video out. It's called 2 Ways to Get There. It's basically, that video was basically for my people that have had sex first. It's like, hey, I'm not down to you now. It's 2 ways you can get to companionship. You can start out like me with a whole bunch of companionship and, and sort of put the sex on the back burner until you sort of have, grown with your girls a little while. And I've never had sex, but I'm saying the approach I was trying to take was no sex for a few months and then sex. That's the approach I was going to take. I achieved what I wanted to. I just didn't have sex. Or the other way, like I said in that video, was, hey, you can have a lot of sex and you can do it on the back end, but it can be more work going in reverse like that. And the only thing I don't like about going in reverse like that is, once again, I've heard some people say, they've got to the companionship part once they're getting tired of having sex with their girl. Well, guess what? If you're getting tired of having sex with your girl, well, you had a lot of carnal sex and you didn't get a chance to have the connection sex that, now that you're connected with your girl and you're not having sex with her, imagine what the sex would have been like had you had the connection beforehand. And see, that's my whole point to doing it the way that I did it, even though I still haven't had sex. So that was all the comments on that video. And that was a lot of comments on that video, actually. Every video isn't like that. The next video I have, my guy King John coming on my video, A Good Battle. Oh, and I don't know, maybe I was talking about this on this is an old Power Hour. So he went back to look at the older Power Hour. It makes me feel good that, maybe people are bored, they're doing something the rest of their day, and they realize, hey man, I haven't seen all Jay's Power Hours, and they just go back and listen to a Power Hour. I like that. So he made a comment and he was like, man, I guess I said something in that Power Hour about I don't take my girls out because, my car went down. And so he was like, man, you don't need a car to go out with your dog. You can use an Uber. He said, I don't have a car I don't have a car. He said, it's too costly, but I'm going to use an Uber. And once again, when he said that, I was like, yeah, this is a guy who's never taken his dog. Well, he don't have a dog. And he doesn't understand the complexities of taking your dog out. And me, I have a lot of experience with that. And whenever I get a automobile again of any sorts, I resume going out with my girls. but I'm where God has me right now. I don't have an automobile, so guess what? It's not meant for me to be out right now. But what I told him is, I don't, and I made a video about it. He was the inspiration for me making a video about, hey, you need a car. You know what I'm saying? You need a car, man. You talk about going out. But I said this. I said, I don't reckon you men using the Uber. I think it's best to have your own transportation for several reasons. I said, you'll understand better once you get your companion, my friend. I'll probably do a video on it, which I did. And here's the deal. Man, let's just say you do call an Uber. Getting your girl in and out of the car, it's a lot more difficult than you might think, especially if you're talking about putting her in the back of an Uber. It's a lot more difficult than you might think. Not only that, like I said, you don't want to be having an Uber wait. You know, because I guess they're going to start charging you once you start getting in the car. I'm not sure. But you don't want to have them waiting 20 minutes while you try to get the girl in the car. You know, that's why I say that's more of an intimate experience. Putting your girl in the car, packing her up to leave. That's more of an intimate experience. You want your own vehicle for something like that. You know, I wouldn't even want, you know, I'm the type, I wouldn't even want to call a friend over and say, hey, man, come take me and my Cali somewhere. I don't want to use my friend's time to pack them up in the car and all that. The one time I did do it, my brother pretty much came from out of town, and he volunteered to say, hey, man, I want to take you and your girl, you know, ride with me for a second. So, and he had a big enough van to do it, and I took my girl out. But I would have never even went to him saying, hey, man, can me and my girl go with you? Because it's an intimate experience pretty much. You know, you want to be doing something like that really on your own, you know, as far as packing your girl up into the car. And you'll understand more about it if you out there, any of you out there ever do it. You know, you want to be able to take your time, get your girl in the car the right way, set her up the right way. You don't ever want to feel rushed or Uber. You don't know what type of car a person might have. And even if you can choose the type of car, you know, like a bigger car. I just told you, it's just, when I even think about having somebody waiting on me while I'm putting Cali in the car, it's just something I can't even fathom. I'm like, no, I don't want any parts of that. It's an intimate experience. That's for one. For two, like I said in the video, is public transportation possible in some cases? It probably is, but you're gonna have to have your girl on a wheelchair, and even going on a bus, you're gonna have to get them to use that handicap ramp and things of that nature to get your girl on. For me, that's just a hassle that I wouldn't want to deal with, you know, trying to make the public transportation people deal with me getting my girl on a bus on a wheelchair. Not only that, once you get on public transportation, I always tell you guys, don't speak of the negative, but you always just want to be aware of potential things that can go wrong. And when you're on public transportation, for the most part, nobody probably will bother you. But it's always that random potential for somebody to get out of hand, wanting to put their hands on your doll in the wrong way in that particular setting. Or, you know, some people, a lot of doll owners don't even have they might not have that emotional stability as far, not saying they're crazy, but I'm saying some people don't have that restraint. They may try to go back at the public that may talk about them crazy. You know, on the public transportation, I told you, people talked about me all the time, called me crazy behind my back. I didn't respond because, you know, I was in control of my emotions. But you could be out there in a public situation and people calling you crazy on the bus or wherever you are. And if you're not equipped to handle that, you could react in a bad way. Or people could, you know, some of these crazies, you know, these people could put their hands on your dog. And the disadvantage you have is when you're not in the car, you know, you're not isolated from them. You see? When I was riding around in the car, I might have had people calling me crazy, but I was in my own vehicle, you know, separated from them. So that's why I'm like, nah, I wouldn't be a fan of trying to take public transport to take my girl on dates and things of that nature. Now, on my videos, I was out in the public, walking around on streets, and you could say, Jay, people could have walked up there and did stuff. Well, you know what? That's true. That was a chance that I did take. But I still was sort of isolated to the point where And unless I had somebody aggressively come up to me on the streets, I was still in the sort of a position where I could have told people, hey, sort of stay away from my girl. I could have said that, but I didn't want to do that because that's just causing more tension. You know, I was actually out there on a date with my girl, and I had already said that, hey, if people come up to me, I'm gonna use that as a learning experience to help them learn about this lifestyle. So I knew that it was a possibility that something crazy could happen, but I took that into account. So that's what I was saying. You can take public transportation if you want, but I do not recommend it. And I do think that's one of those things you'll understand better once you get a companion dog. So yeah, that was all the comments I had on that old video. We're working our way through here. Let's see what we got now. Ah, okay. I didn't write this one down. My guy Yarvis, he commented on my video called I did a movie review on 2050, on the movie 2050. It was a great movie. He says you might want to check out Zoe. It's a 2018 movie about a companion robot. Let me write that down. He said it's a movie about a companion robot engineer who is having trouble connecting with his creation. He said it is more of a story of love and connection and not as sexual as this movie. And I said I would check it out, my friend. So I'm definitely going to check out Zoe. That's something else for me to check out. So I'll probably be doing a review on that when I get a chance to watch that. So that was I almost missed that comment. I'm glad I didn't, because I got a chance to write that down. Let me see what else is coming. What I got next? Because I don't know how I missed that. I think I'm on this now. Yep. I'm on my Reset Sunday video where I did Be Thankful for Life. And I ain't going to go open these can of worms all the way up again, but it was a tragic event that happened in my city recently with the guy Tyree Nichols getting murdered by policemen and things of that nature. And it was brutal. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen, honestly. But I was just, it's just another reminder of, man, another guy, man, he seemed so peaceful, but just another guy that's not here today. He was a Grizzly fan like me. I just watched the Grizzly game. A Grizzly game is, I think, coming on today. And I only bring that up is I'm going to be watching it if God, allows me to be here or whatever. And that's all I was basically saying. Another life lost. Hey, man, we can all complain about so much. I got things that I can't see how they're going to work out. I just know God is going to work them out. But what I'm saying is I could be worried about stuff. You could be worried about stuff. But look, we don't know how long we have here. Let's enjoy the day. Let's enjoy the moment. Be thankful for the life we got. Let's stop complaining. The truth is, it's good to be here to get upset about something, because that means you're alive. You know what I'm saying? You well. So look, let's stop being upset and start being happy that we here. Be thankful that we here. Live your life with energy, and thankful that you got another second to love the people around you, to play your games, to look at TV, to get on the internet, to eat good food, to smell good smells. If you got a human woman or a human man or whatever you got out there, you can make love to them. If you got a companion dog, guess what? Good relationship with them. It's so much to be thankful for. So either way, that's all that video was about. Miami Spice says, great message, J Dog King. Have a wonderful Sunday and week. And I basically gave him a thumbs up, prayer sign. Appreciate you. And Ye told me how is Memphis right now with the reaction to the Tyree beatdown. And I told him I believe all is well. And that's when I said, you know what? Okay, I got a question about this. It's been on my mind anyway. And that's when I said, let me do that live stream Monday just to give everybody an update on, how I felt about what happened, as well as the temperature in the city. So that was all on that. The next video is I did even a synthetic world needs human kindness. And I'm trying to think. I believe that yep. In this, I was talking about how this was the live stream I did Monday, basically talking about the Tyree Nichols events and about how, I'm a proponent of the dog lifestyle, the dog game, synthetic living, but it don't matter if you have a doll or you don't have a doll or whatever. Even in a changing world that's moving towards AI and robotics, we still need simple human kindness to be shared out here. We need human empathy uh, amongst each other. We need to see each other as human. And that's what I was like, even in that incident that happened here in Memphis, I was like, man, even if you were beating the guy, it was at a certain point where they just didn't regard him as human anymore. You couldn't have to keep doing what they were doing. And that's why I was like, man, people may think that I'm disconnected from humanity, but I'm not. I do a lot of communicating with humans on a day-to-day basis. My family, or either just people, that I talk to just out in regular life. I do a lot of communicating. I'm not disconnected from humanity, and I want to treat my fellow humans in a good way. And so even if you do have a synthetic lifestyle, you still need to have that heart in you, that empathetic heart. And Denver Berry says, sorry I missed your live. I was at work. I gave him the thumbs up. I appreciate you for still checking in. DAS, my Dog King Army team member, one of my best supporters out there. He said, thanks for the stream. I gifted you a membership. I think it was given to The Rabbit by YouTube. And I just want to thank him for that. Any of you can do that. That's basically, he bought a membership for somebody. And I think that person would have to keep renewing the membership. But I think for at least 1 month, they will be a member. And I told him, I thank you, man, for the awesome support. God bless you. Have a great week. And man, DAS, I want to apologize to you when you see this. I was supposed to be, I have a companion doll rack that I use for my girls. I have 2 of them, actually, that I bought from Amazon. They're heavy duty. I use it to basically watch the girls on that rack, or I leave them hanging up on that rack when they're out of commission. I don't leave the heads on my dolls and just have them sitting around somewhere. A lot of times I hang them up so they can sort of stretch out and things of that nature. Now, if I didn't have my pets, like I've always said, I would probably just have my girls just sitting around the house 24/7. But since I have my pets, I sort of try to keep them contained when they're out of commission. But I'm going to put my racks on my Amazon list. So when you go check out my Amazon link, you won't have to look for the racks that I bought. You can buy the exact same racks that I have. So I forgot it, DAS. I want to remember as soon as I get through with this. But once again, I got busy after you told me and straight forgot about it. Denver Berry says, Amy Michelle says, meow, meow. So I guess that's his girl, his companion dog. And tell Amy Michelle we said, hey, Denver Berry. So that was all the comments I had on that video on seeking human kindness. Let me see. Yep. I had my guy King of Jung. He went back and saw another old live stream that I did about Dr. Real Dog is at Galmato Haven. That was just a video where I was talking about the guy that works on Real Dolls, a guy named Reggie. He has a business called Galmato Haven. And King of Jung, he looked at the video and it's a picture of Reggie during the live stream that's just in the background. He was like, man, is that doll in the picture? He hugging a real doll. And it, in fact, was a real doll. So I told John, yep, that's a real doll that he's hugging. It looks like a human, though, honestly. Now, let's see. I think we're it. Yep, now, only thing we have now. Oh, no. We got 2 more things to say, but it's very quick, though. My guy Kissinger's. So the next move I'm going to do, sorry. The next video I'm going to talk about is the movie review I did for M3GAN. It was a great movie once again. I give it, like I say, about a C plus, high C plus grade, almost a B. Kissinger Media says, I love the movie. I became a big fan of M3GAN. The story was amazing and I loved it. You know, I don't want to go too far and just say the storyline was amazing, but it was good. And I guess I can say I did love the movie. You know, I did love the movie. It was a good movie, man. It was a good movie. I agree with him on that. Oh my God, the Black Swordsman says, I don't think, if you didn't see it, sorry for this, but the robot does, you've even heard me say, it's going to be some dangers with this AI technology in the movie. So he says, I don't think robots like this would be hard to stop, because I think in my movie review, I was like, man, oh yeah, in my movie review, I was like, man, because this robot is going crazy and blah, 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 it really supports my notion that we won't see these in homes anytime soon. And so the Black Swordsman was like, man, I don't think it'll be this. He said, I don't think robots like this would be that hard to stop. And he says, I read the rest of his comment later, but I just say this. I wrote this part. I said, as a consumer, I know it seems easy. And, you know, as a consumer, we just look at these products. Oh, man, it'll be easy to stop that. It'll be easy to stop that. Now, and I understand how he feels, but what's really easy to do is for us to say what we're saying. It's easy for us to say, oh, man, just think of a way to invent this or just add this. But you know what's harder to do? Be the guy that's inventing those things. You know, when we sit down and just think about it, it's so easy for me right now to come up with a concept of improvement. But for somebody to actually draw that out, figure out how it's going to work and all of that, that's when it becomes more complicated. And so he says, I don't think it would be hard to stop a robot like that. And I just think it's only funny because in that movie, M3GAN is only like 4 feet tall, maybe 4'8". I think she may be 4'8", to be honest with you. And she's a titanium robot. And I think in his mind, he think like, oh man, it's just a little robot. It'll be easy to stop. But just like Mac McMullen was saying, the owner of Real Doll, and I've said before, man, once you get that 4'8" robot moving, it ain't got muscles and skin like you. If it decides to start trying to hurt you, it's gonna be stronger than you are now. You know, so it can do some major damage if it goes on the fritz. So just saying it's gonna be easy to stop is much easier said than done. So he goes on to say, all you got to do is just don't give the thing EMP resistance and make an emergency off switch. Another thing they could do is just put a pseudo morality system in, the DOS programming. Once again, an EMP basically suggested I'm going to have to drop some type of damn EMP grenade or some type of EMP sensor to make the DOS stop. Okay, they could have a device like that, but you definitely don't want to have to resort to that, because that means the dollar is definitely out of control if you got to drop an EMP device. Next is have an emergency off switch. But yeah, if the dollar is going crazy, you got to get to the off switch. Just like the woman had an emergency, well, I don't want to just tell you too much, but it was an emergency off switch, but she couldn't even get to it. Next is, he says, having to put in a pseudo morality system in the DOS program. And once again, it's easy for me as a consumer. Hey man, just change the personality. Hey man, do you know how much programming goes into something like that? And here's the problem that they actually even ran across in the movie. I'm not trying to ruin it for you, but nuances. You could program the DOS for 1 million different emotional responses, right? But when you forget one of those nuanced responses, now you're in trouble. Because now the DOS with its AI technology is going to be saying, hey, I didn't have a command for that. I have to think of a way to react in this situation. And that's when you can run into problems. And that's what I say. What's so funny is, I'm going to read my response to him first. I said, as a consumer, I know it's easy. It seems easy, but a high-level AI needs 1 million nuanced commands to prevent major malfunctions. I said that would take a generation or two to perfect, in my opinion. I said, not to mention, we're nowhere close to making a doll move around like a Terminator or Blade Runner type of android like they had in M3GAN. Meaning that doll in M3GAN was moving seamlessly like a human. And who else moves like a human? Like in the movie Terminator, or in the movie Blade Runner, or in the movie almost like, well, Ex Machina still moved a little robotic, but it was pretty much moving like a human. To make a long story short, we are light years away from making that completely possible. We have some walking robots out here, but they don't have the legs like humans, you know, the skin components, all of these things. I mean, it's going to take a while for them to actually have a doll with all these small mechanical things needed to make a doll look exactly like a human. Not just a robot walking around your house. I'm talking about a real Terminator, high-level AI. And you can't just have a dumb robot walking around your house on 2 feet. You're going to have this doll. If it can walk around just like humans, it's going to have a high level of intelligence, obstacle avoidance, communication abilities. I mean, it's going to be a lot that's going to be needed. And I just think that a lot of people, we're so in a rush for things to be ready in our lifetime. Hey, it can just be made easy. Nah, bro, it's a lot of steps that has to go with this. A lot of steps. So that's why I say we're not going to see a M3GAN in our homes, in our lives. You know, we're going to see a lot of advancements, but in my opinion, we're not going to see that. So let's see if I have any more comments. Sheila Bell says, I enjoyed M3GAN. I was glad it was not like Chucky or some horror movie. I give it a C+ rating. I said, I think you're right on point. Leo says, I really liked it as well. I gave him the thumbs up. I agree. He said, I seen it too, and I just like that comment. So I think I'm done with that. And I think I got one more video. And the other video is I had my guy Kai. He went back and looked at my old video. It's a date. Me and Callie's son is our first date, part 2 he was looking at. He like, what is happening? Well, the only thing that was happening was that was our first time out in public. The video is horrible on that. I mean, the audio is horrible on that video. But yeah, he was looking at our first date. And I guess he couldn't make out exactly what was going on. So that was all the comments on my video. Pretty much done with that. I'm gonna check the comments, and guess what? We're right about where I want to be. These power hours, for the most part, have been ending around an hour and a half, and I just think, you know, that's splendid. When I first made the power hour, I knew it would never be quite just 1 hour. It's always a little bit more to talk about than that, but I think it's a good zoom through to go about an hour and a half on a power hour. I like that. Now I could always go longer, but I just think this is a good consumable time frame. About a good hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. So we're making good time, and we're gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of your day. But I'm gonna catch back up with the comments first, just to see if it's anything else out here. Okay. Power Brain checking in. Hey, Jay, how have you been? What up, Power Brain? Good to see you. He said, stay safe from those street gangs in blue, Jay. Man, I never want to think of them as street gangs in blue. I still have a lot of respect and for officers in general. It's a nasty, dangerous job, but it's one that I think you have to be blessed with a mentality and an emotional stability to do. And I do think that, just like a lot of things in life, a lot of people do take their job just because it's a job. It may pay a certain amount of money, you know, and just like they say, don't be a parent if you don't want to be a parent. Some people get in these jobs and they don't really want to do those jobs, and they end up getting frustrated with it. They take it out on the people and things of that nature. So I still don't think it's all officers that do that. But boy, I just say, if you ever get in a situation where you're surrounded by all bad officers, that is the worst case scenario. So yeah, I'm going to do a video about it on my biking channel, honestly, I believe, about how Now that I'm on my bike, I don't really have to worry about that problem as much. I'm going to actually do a video about that soon. Clint Eastwood, he says, I like dancing with my Karen dolls because the music at the club sucks. Only Cardi B type music. I cannot jam to it. It's crazy. I'm not a fan of Cardi B, but I actually do like a lot of her music. I've never listened to a album of hers, but I've heard some of her music, and the girl can rap. The girl can rap. I give her that credit. So I'm actually a fan of her music. I'm not a fan of the Cardi B, the persona. I don't love to see her in person and stuff because she could be. I just hate girls. I hate when girls ruin their bodies like that because she has all these big fake breasts, and I know somebody, but your whole doll silicone. Yeah, you know what? I love my silicone and TPE girls because they are meant to be synthetic humans. But I don't like when humans get sent all these synthetic parts unless it's something necessary. Like if a woman has type of breast cancer removal, I don't mind a woman like that getting prosthetics or something like that. Or even if a woman sometimes they'll have babies and they'll lose all the mass out of their breasts will shrink up like prunes. If they want to get a breast addition because of that, I'm not against it. But I hate to just see these normal girls. And it's a girl that I talked about when I was doing the vagina scent competitions. Her name's Zia Land. This girl's so fine to me. Human woman. And I'll show it to you right quick. And she keep talking about how she's doing money on her OnlyFans or whatever the hell she does, Twitter or whatever she does, because she wants to buy some breasts. And it's so frustrating to hear her talk like that because I'm like, man, you don't even need that, Women with smaller breasts don't even realize that, man, men like you, a lot of us men like you just like, without all that big breast mess. You know what I'm saying? I don't got anything against bigger breasts, but you don't need bigger breasts, to be a good looking woman. You don't need that. So I hate when I've seen people do that. Hold on. Ooh, I almost typed that girl name in there. I don't know where she is. She won't pop up on my thing. And she's a friend of mine, so she should be popping up. Maybe she on my timeline. I was trying to show y'all a picture of her, but she ain't popping up. Cause she took a cute picture today. I ain't gonna even lie. She took a very cute picture today. But I don't see her. I really don't. I don't know whether she blocked her channel or what. Cause it ain't nobody else I even know with that type of name. But yeah, she popped up on my timeline right before I came in here. Honestly, I'm just gonna scroll down real fast. Maybe she'll pop up. Cause I actually would love for you to see that picture of her. But you can't see it. Either way. Because it ain't popping up on my timeline. Oh, here she is right here. What? Here she goes. I found her. This girl is so crazy. Okay. I show y'all this picture before I get out of here. So yeah, this girl, she just got, she don't have big breasts or anything. And she keep talking about how she wants big breasts. And I'm like, no, you don't need no big breasts. You good like you are. Everybody don't gotta get gigantic boobs. You know what I'm saying? Think she's a fine woman. She changed her hair color. I actually probably like her better blonde, but she still look good. But either way, I was just so upset at her for doing that. Constantly talking. I said, man, this girl finna ruin herself. But yeah, you don't need all these big breasts and stuff like that. And so, yeah, that's what I don't like about Cardi B as far as all that plastic surgery she's gotten and stuff. I'm like, you didn't need that. You were a nice looking woman before that. Daniel Romano, I'm gonna leave her picture up for till I go. Daniel Romano says, "Hey Jay, what up, Daniel Romano?" Daniel says, "Yep, Sophie, for example, they declared her as Sophie, but still Sophie has a long way to go." He's bringing up Sophie. She's an AI, and her AI is on point. Her AI is almost like what you saw in the movie. I still don't think it's that quick. It's not as quick as it's still not as quick as Megan, her responses and stuff. But Sophie can have whole conversations and stuff. She's pretty good. But they just tried to put some legs on Sophie. They're big as this whole room. Some walking legs. So they got a long way to go. She still is not a complete android. They got a long way to go. Dane Romano says, "I'm late. I just got over." He said, "I just got here." It's all good, Dane. Dane says, "I agree. All boobs matter, no matter the size." Most definitely. He says, "Jay, do you like the 1-footer dolls?" I guess he's saying, "I like to make those onto game chairs." I don't know what he mean, game chairs. I don't know what he mean talking about, but I do like small dolls. I do. I don't own any. I don't like all these restrictions they got on them. I do like mini dolls, though. I don't know if I would want a doll that's 1 foot, though. That's too small for me. But I would love to have a doll that's around 4 foot tall. That's what I would love to have, to represent a little person. Dane Romano says, "Zia, she's a beauty." Oh, yeah, Zia is hot. This girl is super fine. I really love her. She should have won the scent competition, but she's so disgusting. She does that Brittany Venti burping. And Venti, I love you. I hate to even bring your name up, but I just hate that burping. But yeah, that she does it even worse than Venti. And it's so hard to believe because she's so fine. But okay. Clint Eastwood says, "Do you like the 1-footer dolls? I like to make those into game characters." That's what he said. And like I told you, I'm not into the 1-footer dolls. I don't discourage anybody from getting any of them. I would like a doll a little bigger though. Clint Eastwood says, "She is fine as she is. A B cup is fine." I agree with you totally. Matter of fact, I love small boobs. I don't tell a girl she has to have small boobs or has to have big boobs. But when I met my girls with A cups, I treat those A cups like they was triple D's. So, she needs to stop worrying about messing herself up. Look, you good. I love them nice little hips, those nice little legs. She got a nice little butt on her. Cute girl. She has the worst manners I've ever seen, but other than that, her body doesn't need any changes. Look at her now, just gets me like, oh my God, that girl is hot. So with all that said, I'm gonna make us a little bit bigger though. Kind of said, "Hey man, I'm still here too." But yeah, with all that said, I'm gonna put us back up. I'm gonna get rid of her. I love her though. She's a hot girl. I'm gonna be honest. But with all that said, man, we're done with the comments on my videos. I just say again, if you haven't seen M3GAN, that's definitely a movie you might want to check out. It was pretty cool. Appreciate you guys being here today. We had a great show. Went through all the videos, went through all the comments, had a great time. Want you guys to have a great Wednesday out there. We're sending out blessings out over you, or whatever you're wishing for, hoping for, praying for, good breaks, new relationships, finances increasing, whatever it is. We're praying that you have it. We appreciate you for tuning in, spending time with us. Hit the like, subscribe, share if you want a campaign doll. Once again, check the vendor links in the description of my video or in the about section of my YouTube channel. Believe me, guys, all of that helps. If you ever want to donate to the channel, I have a PayPal or Cash App in the description of the video. Or I don't know if it's in the description of this video. I probably need to start doing that, but it's definitely in the about section of my YouTube. But with all that said, we're going to let you guys go. We appreciate you for hanging with us. We love you. Thank you for your time wherever you are in the world. Have a good one. Be safe. We'll be checking in really, really soon. But as of right now, it's been me, J. King Hefner, and the beautiful Cali Sun. We finna get the hell up out of here. Check these last comments. Danny Romano said she burps. I didn't know that she is married, where Venti isn't. Not excusing, just maybe that's why she's comfortable doing it. I don't care. My wife, I wouldn't even be able to marry a woman that burps like her. That's what goes back to me. God bless her husband. But like I say, even when I'm married, you can't get comfortable enough to do burping like she does. And once again, it's not burping. I just want to clarify that it's not burping that I don't like. It's the lack of manners. It's belching and doing all that loud stuff without caring about it. My grandmother always taught me to cover my mouth, and as a man that covers my mouth, and women, all my women that I've dated, they've covered their mouths, or if they did have to do something loud belching, they didn't just do it in front of you, that type of stuff. I'm used to women that have manners like that, and God bless her. She's a beautiful woman, but she does the direct opposite. And I don't give marriage as an excuse to do all that filthiness. I just say you married a guy that's dealing with that, but I wouldn't want to deal with that. Money Mike says, would I get a BBW doll? No, not at this point. I wouldn't, because I have Saima and I already consider her a BBW. The girl is 98 pounds and she feels like 150. She's way too heavy for me, but I have her now, so I deal with it, but I'm not getting any other big girls. Not a one. They are beautiful. I love that BBW girl Starprey has, but I won't be buying her. That's for damn sure. Somebody would definitely have to send me that doll, and that doll, as much as I might love it, would be a candidate for getting given away, because I'm not dealing with another heavy doll. Clint Eastwood says the latest WM has B cups, 176 centimeter. Love her. Haven't penetrated. You better than me, because I'm not loving no doll that's 176 centimeters. Way too tall for me, brother. I love short ladies, and just her being that tall means she's heavy. So God bless you, but I can do the B cup, but I can't do 176. Romano says Venti does it because she's trying to be shocking. I generally like Venti. That's why I disagree with you, Ed. She may have started out years and years ago doing it because it's shocking, but let me tell you, it doesn't shock me. It disgusts me. And also, she may have started out doing it because she's shocking, but now it's a habit. That's just something she does now. It's a literal habit. She can't break away from that right now. It would take her a long time to break away from that because it's become a habit. So I agree with you on one thing. She could have started out to shock people, but it's a habit now. And here's what I really, look at Yoda back there. Here's what I really think. I really think that she just has always done it. I truly do believe that. I just believe that's something she's always done. It reminds me of that girl I told you I was trying to date before I got with my dogs. And she was burping and doing all this stuff like Venti. And I was like, I didn't make love to her or anything, because I said, I can't date this woman. And she was just like, I've never been taught not to burp. My mama burped. And I was like, yeah, that could be the same thing with Venti and stuff. She just was never taught not to do that. I talked about that with I owned some cats a long time ago, and they didn't know how to clean themselves. And that's crazy with cats. But the guy that sold us those cats a long time ago, he had said that, oh man, I broke them away from their mother too soon. They didn't get showed how to clean themselves. And I don't want to talk about anybody's parenting and stuff, but it could go down to, hey, if your mother or whatever didn't teach you not to do certain things, guess what? You don't know not to do it. And I differ with you. He said, Clint Eastwood said, I pray more guys get dogs. They are good for us. And I differ with you on this. I don't pray more guys get dogs. And I don't restrict it to guys. It could be guys, girls, or whatever. What I say is, if you want a dog, get a dog. They're not for everybody. They're not for everybody. If you want one, get one. And I'm cool for you getting one. But I'm not going to pray that, hey, more you get one. No, if you feel you need one, get one. But guess what? It's people out there that's like my brother. He's not really with the dog game. So, to each his own. That's how I feel. Romano, now we agree on here. He said, I would never marry a woman who lacks manners. And that's what I say. I played the far game with a girlfriend before. Like, I've dated a girl for months, right? she doesn't have bad manners, and one day she might have farted. And I, we might have joked about it because I smelled it, and then guess what? I hit her with one, and we laugh and joke about it. But it's not an ongoing thing where she's farting around me all day because she has manners. You see what I'm getting at? I wouldn't deal with a woman who's you smell that, baby? All day, every day. No, I couldn't do that. Or a girl that's never putting her hand over her mouth and being loud and disgusting. No, and that's why I was telling. I actually gave Venti some advice. I said, you'll find a guy that'll deal with some stuff like that, but that's why you're not finding the great quality guys. Because I'm not saying that every guy that deals with that is not a quality guy, but you're gonna find a lot of guys that's not quality that's willing to deal with that bull crap. Because most quality guys I know, they're not willing to deal with all that filthiness just to date you. You got either guys that have low self-esteem that's gonna just say, oh damn, I gotta have, this the best girl I can get, so I'm gonna deal with her doing whatever she do. So you might get a guy like that, or you may get some guy that ain't worth it. He may be a bad guy, and he just don't give a damn what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? And you wondering why you can't find a guy of high character is because of that mess you're doing. Those bad, filthy manners. And a good-looking girl like Venti, she's never having to worry about finding a date. So she doesn't even realize that her actions is costing her good quality dates. And that's what I said. She got to cut that crap out. So with all that said, we wasted. Now I ain't gonna say wasted because ain't none of this a waste of time. But it went a little longer than we thought. But hey, we had to explain that. So with all that said, we're gonna let everybody go. We love you. Have a great Wednesday. Me, J-Dog King Hefner, the beautiful Cali Sun. We're gonna send our shots out again. We are out of chill. Hope you had some fun. We'll check back in with you later. Later, 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 like a gator. Later, 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 like a gator. Check out M3GAN if you haven't seen it. It's a damn good one, man. Pretty cool. We out of here.